Today I'm going to show you guys how to make a white tiered maxi skirt that's perfect for the summer out of this really pretty white crinkle cotton fabric I got. Starting off, I'm just measuring out how long I want each tier to be, and the pattern itself for this skirt is pretty simple. It's just going to be 3 separate rectangles. I'm 5'2", and these are the lengths and widths of the rectangles that I use, but feel free to adjust based on your height and preferences. Depending on how much fabric you want, you might need to do some piecing together if the length of your fabric isn't enough for one or more of your tiers, which I needed to do for my middle and bottom tier. Once you have all your pieces cut out, you'll just want to connect the ends of each tier right sides together and sew that down to form a loop. Then, grabbing your smallest loop for the top tier, you're just going to want to fold down a channel at the very top. Keeping in mind, this is where we're going to insert our elastic bands. Just make sure your channel is just wide enough to fit that elastic, and make sure to leave an opening in the channel so that we can feed that elastic through later. For now, I'd suggest not inserting the elastic band just yet, as it'll just make it a little bit easier to attach your tiers together. The process for attaching the middle and bottom tier will be the same. I went ahead and just did the first one, but I'll walk you through the process of getting that bottom tier on, and you can just apply that for both tiers. So basically, to get that kind of ruffled effect for each of your tiers, we're going to want to sew some basting stitches so that we can gather the fabric. What I found works best is sewing 2 lines of your basting stitches rather than just one. It just makes it a lot easier to gather your fabric more evenly. Okay, and now to attach the 2 tiers together, you're going to put right sides together, but since we want to make sure the gathers are being attached evenly to the other tier, what I did was basically sectioned off the 2 tiers I was working with into quarters, and this way I could really control how much fabric was being gathered in each section and make it as even as possible. And now just sewing that all down with a regular straight stitch in between my basting stitches. Here's now that last tier on, and now just the painful process of ripping out all the basting stitches. You could probably see why I used black thread here for the basting stitches, just so it's a little bit easier to see, so I can rip those threads out a little bit more easily. And once my basting stitches are all ripped out, I'm just going to overlock any of my unfinished seams. Now we're going to go back to that top tier and add in our elastic waistband. What we're going to do is take a safety pin, and that's what's going to help us feed that elastic band through our channel out to the other side. Once you get your elastics to meet up, just give it a quick try on to make sure everything's fitting how you want it to, and then sew that down. Now that our elastic is fully inserted, you can just do a quick top stitch to close up that channel. We're going to add stitches along our waistband, and what you'll want to do is just pull the elastic taut as you're feeding it through the machine, and that's going to give it that nice scrunched waistband effect. Final step here, we're just going to finish that bottom hem with a standard rolled hem, give everything a good press, and here's the final result.